Hey guys, welcome back to the channel today. I'm talking about how we booked Amtrak's most expensive room and we wouldn't book it again. All right, guys, if you've watched the channel, then you know that we have traveled on almost every Amtrak route, and we have traveled in every single room type on both types of Amtrak trains, the Viewliners and the Superliners. And there's one room that we really were looking forward to booking, and we thought maybe the first time when we booked it, we were like, oh, this is okay. It's not as great as we thought it was. We thought, let's try it again. Maybe it was just the train route. Maybe it'll be better this time around. We booked it again and we still didn't like it. It just didn't live up to what we thought it would be. We're talking about the bedroom, and it is one that a lot of people talk about and a lot of people are trying to book, just like we were when we were trying to, decide where to use our coupon for the buy one, get one. We just were so excited to be in the bedroom, and it just didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to. And like I said, we gave it another try. We tried it again and just didn't love it. And I'm going to give you the pros and cons. I'm going to break those down for you. But first, I'm going to show you a tour of the room, and then I'm going to come back and give you the pros and cons and why we wouldn't book this room again and what we would offer, what we think is the best option instead. One of the best features, I think, of the bedroom is that you not only have windows on this side, which you can sit here with the seats, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but at the door, you actually can see out the window right there. So that's really cool. And I do like your lock here. Make sure that you flip the one down and then the other one over. Then you've got your own sink here in the room and your mirror right here, and you've got light switches here on and off, and there's actually 2 outlets here, but as you know, we've got our travel buddy here. So I've got, what do I have, 1, 2, 3, 4 things plugged in there, and I have one more spot which I'm not currently using, but we are charging things right there. So that's your whole vanity area here and the sink, and then there are towels down here and a trash can right here, and then in here is just some extras like soap and extra toilet paper. And that's a bonus because we do have a bathroom in here. So this is one of the seats here, and this seat folds up and turns up against the wall so that it's out of the way, so you can go to the bathroom easily in the night. You can also leave it there because the bathroom door still opens and does clear it. As you can see, you can leave it there and see there's still clearance for the bathroom door if you don't want to fold that up. You've also got the big couch, or like double seats here. Look at how big those are. It's actually enormous. I'm sleeping down here, and I actually feel bad because it's really, really big compared to Rob's space upstairs. And here is the closet. This is where we're keeping our blankets and pillows during the day. And then here, we've got an outlet here, but I found it challenging that it wasn't holding our plugs, so it was just falling out. So that's how come I put it at the vanity. And then we've got temperature control here. You can make it a little cooler or warmer. It just kind of closes the vents off a little bit. It doesn't control a ton, but it will change the room temperature just a little bit. And then we've got a light right there, so that's good. And then on this side, you have your attendant button here. Ooh, it's a little bright from the sun. And we've got our ceiling light and a night light. You can just flip this button and it will control that. And then here, do not forget, like I did last night when I came in, to turn this to 0 and volume all the way down so that you don't hear the announcements in the first thing in the morning. That's what woke me up this morning when we got to Tucson, was the announcement. So I quickly flipped that, and that is now off. And then there's another night light here. And then there's the tray here where you can pull this out and you can have lunch right here, or dinner, or breakfast, or you can use it as a regular table. And then we've also got, get that in there, and then we've also got this area here. You've got a night light, or a reading light, I should say, right here as well. And then there's this nice shelf here. Right now we're storing some snacks, which we don't really need because they give you so much food on this train, you don't even need snacks. And then we've got our jackets up here too, just bundled up. We are in January headed to Chicago, so it is going to be a little bit nippy when we get there. This is Rob's bed here. Let's see if we can get to it. Now, during the daytime, my mattress is stored up here. So this is the big old mattress. This is the width. Look at how big that is. It's almost as big as Rob's bed is long. So that's this, and this bed goes all the way from there to here, and then as you can see, there's a little bit of space right there. So it doesn't go all the way to the window. So it's a little bit shorter than it would normally be. So that's up there. And then also the ladder is stored up here as well. That goes out and to the ground. So that's that. We'll put that up. So that's basically what the room looks like during the daytime. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this bathroom real quick. Right here, it is a commode and a shower all in one. And this curtain, you pull that across and it snaps actually into the side here. You see those little snaps all the way down. Now, if you're thinking toilet paper is going to get wet while you're showering, it is not, because they have this little flap plexiglass kind of door here that covers up the toilet paper, which is right up here. And then you've got your shower head right there, and towels are stored there. So they do suggest that you sit to shower in here, because you could fall over very easily, but there is also a bar that you can hold on to if you need that. And you can always just go downstairs if you feel like this might not work out for you. You could use the bigger shower downstairs where the other restrooms are as well. So you can always use some of the other amenities that are on the train. You don't have to only use what's in your room.
Beds are made up. Time to crawl up there and show you around a little bit. First thing though is, how do we get up there? We have this ladder, and that differs from the roomette, that there's an actual ladder instead of stairs that you step on. So because of the skinniness of the room here, the ladder does have to go on this end, which is by the window, which means your head has to go on the other end by the door, or you'll have a really hard time getting out. So we're gonna go in head first, like you would do, go up the ladder, and this is what it looks like up here. So there is a little bit more room, I will say. Got a light up here, let me turn that on. There's a little bit more room above the head, which is really nice, because in the roomette it is very, very tight. You feel like you almost can't even flip over at all. Another thing that you might be interested to see is that this mattress is quite a bit thicker. So I noticed that the mattress was quite a bit more comfortable. You have more space. Those are some pretty good upgrades from the roomette. Now, having more space up here means the person below has a little bit less space, but their bed is wider, so they do have that going for them. The thing that I really do miss though from the roomette is that there is no like bag or pouch up here to hold your glasses anywhere. So there's just really, all you have is that light. There's nothing on the wall over here. So to make up for that, I'm gonna have to back up here and show you. I have all my stuff hanging in this white bag right here, and I have some snacks on this luggage rack over here too. But those are kind of inconvenient to get to in the middle of the night. And I will say that getting down this ladder is a little bit tougher than getting down the stairs in the roomette that are just kind of stationary and built into the room. This is a little bit thinner, so it's a little bit harder to get down. But overall, it's a good trade because you have a lot more room to sleep and move around, and you hit your head a lot less often than in the roomette. That's the one thing I wish we had, was a little bag up here. But overall, this is, for being on the top bunk, this is definitely the way to go. So I'm gonna have Allie show you what is different with the lower berth now, and she's going to show you around.
Okay, hey, we're gonna go down here. So as I told you earlier, look at how big this is. Woo! It goes on, it seems like forever. It's bigger than a twin size bed for sure. As far as the width, the length is probably about the same. But keep in mind too that the nice thing is you've got the bathroom in here at night, so you don't have to leave the room to go to the restroom at night, because it's going to be really hard to do with this tiny little space. I basically can, I mean, you have to squeeze through there, but I can get my leg through. I can walk through if I'm facing the vanity. You can walk through and get out of the room if you had to for some reason while the bed is made, but pretty comfortable down here. And as Rob said, there's a little less headroom here, so I do. And as you know, I'm not very tall. I'm 5'4". So my head basically, I have a bun in my hair right now. So it's basically being pushed back like this when I'm underneath here. While when I'm in the roomette, I can sit up with my hair in my bun like this at night and not have any trouble at all. So there's a little bit less room, like he said, down here, and he's got a little bit more up there, which is nice for him up there to have a little bit more space so that he doesn't constantly hit his head while he's up there. So that's kind of the setup for nighttime. It's a pretty nice setup, and as I mentioned before too, this chair here is folded up. If you remember, it was sitting out. So there's a lot more room here. You can see now all that space between that chair and the bathroom. Okay, so on the surface, it looks like a really good option, right? Because right off the bat, it's a big room. It's obviously bigger than a roomette. So you're thinking, hey, this is a pretty good option. It's Amtrak says it's 45.5 square feet. As far as the size is concerned. So it's really a little over 2 times the size of a roomette. So you're thinking, I mean, that has to be a good option because it's really roomy. So that sounds like a good idea. That's kind of one of the pros, is that it's a little bit bigger space and it's a private space for yourself. The other bonus that a lot of people get excited about, as you saw in the video, there is a full bathroom basically included in your room. That toilet shower combo and the sink also in the room. Those are really nice to have in there. It's great to have those, especially at night, so you don't have to put your shoes on and go out in the hall and, you know, have the lighting in the hallway and then you're awake and all that kind of stuff. But it does have some downsides, which I'm gonna talk about in just a moment. The next thing is that your meals are included, just like any of the other sleeper car options. Your meals are included with your bedroom, as well as your drinks like water and coffee and things like that. You do get, of course, your dedicated attendant, just like you would with the other sleeper cars. And it's a little bit more spacious when you're looking at it. You have the sofa, that's the lower bed, which I think is great for, like, if you want to lay down in the afternoon and read, but you don't want to make the bed up. When you're in a roomette, you really sometimes want to just lay down, but then you have to slide the 2 beds together on the bottom in order to do that. Or you have to pull the bed down up above and lay above in a roomette. But in a bedroom, you can just lay down on that couch if you want to, and someone can still sit in the other chair, which is separate from the couch. So that is a pretty nice setup. The other great thing that I love also about the bedroom is that it has a view from both sides. Now, from inside the room, you get a private view with a very big window to look through. And then if you want to keep your curtain open, the window on your door, you can look out through the window in the hallway. Now, obviously that decreases your privacy because people can look into your room, but you can see out of both sides if you want to, especially if you end up on the wrong side for like the California Zephyr or the Coast Starlight or something like that. You'll be able to see out of both sides easily, and then you don't miss out on that. So that is really nice also. To have that. And I just think that it does have a lot of good points to it, but I think that the bad points are bad enough that that's what's making us just not wanting to book this one again. The very first one right out of the gate, which you probably realized if you've ever attempted to book a bedroom, is that a bedroom is really expensive. It's a lot of money. It's a huge price difference from any of the other room options. It's way more than a roomette, obviously. It's way more than the family bedroom, and it's way more than any of those options. It varies with the accessible one. If you do want to see a room tour of every single room on Amtrak, we do have that video here on the channel, so you can always go check that out to see what all of them look like before you decide. But I'll tell you here in just a minute what I think the best option is instead of booking a bedroom. The next thing is that, all right, so I mentioned earlier the bonus of having the bathroom, which does seem nice on the surface to have that bathroom in there, especially, again, like I said, at night. However, it is pretty small, like really small. And it's also a shower. So when you're using it as a shower, it's pretty small. Like you're rotating in there, you know, like a upright rotisserie chicken to take your shower in there. It's pretty tough. To move around. There's not a lot of space because, of course, the toilet is in the way, which the other thing is everything's going to get wet. Yeah, they got that little cover for the toilet paper, but the whole toilet in that whole area is going to be wet. There is a little lip, so the water's not going to come into the room, and there is a drain down on the floor in front of the toilet, but you know, the toilet seat and everything around it is going to be wet after you shower there. And then the same, you know, with the toilet too. Here's the thing is, if you've been in a Viewliner, you've probably had this problem also. And this is a pretty big problem, is when people go to the bathroom, number two, you're going to smell it when they flush it in your room. Same thing happens in the bedrooms, is when they flush it, you are going to smell it in your room. And that's pretty unpleasant, especially like during the daytime, or like if you're trying to enjoy a meal in your bedroom, looking out the windows at the views, and you know, your neighbor goes to the bathroom, flushes, and then now you can smell that in your room. It's pretty unpleasant experience, and it's not something that they can and will do anything about. Another negative also is that divider door between the two bedrooms, between your bedroom and the one next to you, is fairly thin. You can hear a lot of what's going on in your neighbor's room if you're speaking at, say, this volume or even a little bit higher than that, which I don't feel like. I think this is a reasonable volume for speaking to somebody. If you speak louder than this, you would hear that. And one time in one of the bedrooms, the person next to us, that was a family, they had a little kid and a baby. Thankfully, the baby did not cry much, and when they did, it was usually just during the daytime, but we knew who was over there because we could hear almost everything, especially almost everything that the little one was saying. I think it was a toddler. I never really saw them, but you could hear almost everything from that side. So that divider wall between the two rooms is not really private. So that shower can get, you know, as I mentioned earlier, with bathroom shower, can get a little bit stinky. Now, you would also think that in the bedroom, you would have extra space to store your bags. And one of the reasons why we tell people to bring as little as possible onto the train into the room with you is because there is no storage. You think there might be storage underneath that lower bed. However, when it pulls out, it has a railing that basically blocks you from putting much underneath there. It'd have to be something really small to be able to slide under. So you can't really use that. At first, I thought you would be able to fit something under there, but you cannot. There's that one little shelf that's above the one seat that's by itself. But other than that, there's not much storage space. Even on the Viewliner, it's really challenging to try to get something over the bathroom to put up on the top there. If you've ever seen one of those, we do have a review of that one here on the channel. The one I showed you is on a Superliner. But there's just not a lot of places to put things in the room because it's all being taken up by just the little bit of floor space there. So not a lot there. And of course, a solution would be for the bathroom is to use the showers and bathrooms that are either downstairs or, the bathroom that's out in the hall upstairs. And that really negates the whole reason why you would get a bedroom. Is you got the bedroom because the big selling point is you get your own bathroom in your room. That sounds amazing. But you get in there and you're like, I can't go in here. Like, I'm claustrophobic and I do have a really hard time. I had a hard time trying to go to the bathroom in there. I just decided I cannot do this. This is crazy. I didn't ever even end up taking a shower. Rob used it, but I didn't end up ever taking a shower in there because I just knew I was going to panic once I locked myself in that little tiny space with, it felt like you were just locked into, like this real cubicle or like a tube, it felt like. So I just ended up taking a shower downstairs, tons more space. It was much more comfortable. So that was negated there also. What do we do instead? Once we decided that we were not ever going to book a bedroom again, I don't think we're going to give it a third try. 2 was plenty for us. From then on out, we just decided, if we want to have more space or whatever, we could each get a roomette. You can get roomettes right across from each other. Just call up Amtrak and book it, and they'll book you so that you've got roomettes right across from each other. I think one of the other one of the other cons about the bedroom is the bed situation. So you don't both get to sleep on the bottom, which I think a lot of people think they can when they see the bed. But then when you actually get in the room and actually see it, you're not both going to sleep comfortably there because there's no way to get off the bed on both sides. There's only one side you can get off the bed. So that means you're going to have to climb over the person that's closest to the edge. Not going to be comfortable really that way for either one of you. And then the other problem is the direction of the bed. The beds are perpendicular to the direction of travel, which means that if the train is going this way and you're laying this way, you can very easily feel like you're going to roll out of the bed. And especially if you're in the lower bed, like I sleep in, Rob at least upstairs has that railing, kind of like that seatbelt netting thing that keeps you in the bed at least, so you've got that security. But down below, there is nothing that will hold you up there. So it is pretty challenging. Whilst in a roomette, the direction of travel is this way, and that's you're sleeping on the sides this way, the way that the train is traveling. So not as many problems there with the rocking of the train, which if you've been on the trains, you know that it does a lot of rocking and a lot of moving, especially in some sections of the country. It does a lot more movement than in others. So keeping all of that in mind, definitely the best option instead of getting a bedroom is to get 2 roomettes. If you get those across from each other, nobody has to worry about the concern of possibly rolling out of the bed, and nobody has to sleep on top. You can both sleep in the bottom bunk and have that top one just open. You've got more space and you'll be right across from each other. If you call them up and book it that way, it's going to be a better option. Hopefully, if you were trying to decide if you're going to get a bedroom on an Amtrak train, hopefully this is helpful to you guys. If you have questions, please leave those down in the comment section for us. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the rails.